all we have to face challenges in our life. And at this time, we can feel a pain, anxiety, and a lot of stress and any kind of negative emotions. How to manage it? Hello, everybody. My name is Slavomira Hercegova. I'm a feng shui consultant and transformational leader. You are watching Ars Vivendi by Slavomira, and I'm here to support you on your journey within to discover who you really are and what you are supposed to do here on this planet. In today's episode, we will talk with professional coach Viktoriya Gilbey, and we will talk about how to manage stress or negative emotions in times of changes, or how to stay calm even if our life goes crazy. So, hello, Victoria.
Hi,
Hello, Will.
Slavomira.
Can you please introduce a little bit yourself? What are you doing? Who you are?
hmm Absolutely. Thank you for having me. It's good to see you. And the topic is very important because I work with mompreneurs. Those are women who are building their business online, and they have kids, so they have to juggle everything: their family, their business, look after themselves, help their kids. For example, right now I have my kids homeschooled, so a lot of things, and I understand them. And it is really difficult to find time and energy to do something else on top of your family, right? So these are women I work with. And like I said, I help them build their business online, and it goes together. You can't just build business. You need to learn to manage your time, your emotions, your spiritual health and state, everything. Your schedules. So it goes all together because it's all connected.
Yes, so I think you are a perfect person to talk about how to manage our level of stress or our negative emotions. So, can you talk a little bit about how to manage when you feel that all your life is falling apart and it's too much going on? How to manage it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very good question, because we all felt that in our lives at some point or other. And the main idea that I always think when I start feeling negative or upset or desperate is that actually I can manage my emotions. It is possible. Um, Not my emotions rule me. I can manage them. I am in charge. So for me, that's the first thing to understand, to say, okay, this is how I feel right now. But in fact, I have tools and I know what to do. So that's the first thing I tell myself. And then um, the second thing is when we are in stress, we see everything black and white, right? So sometimes we think, no, there's no way out of this, and I will always feel like that. But again, the second understanding, okay, I am in stress and this is how I feel, and the problem is exaggerated. And the next thing, so it's like goes in stages, and there are many models and concepts of how people deal with it. I'm saying how I usually, pull myself out of there when I'm negative or I'm down. And the next thing is, okay, it's like for me, the theory comes together with practice. Next thing is whatever negative feelings or fears I had before in stressful situation, they amplify, they come up to the surface, right? And they seem really, really big. So that's the next thing for me to understand. Okay, this is what I'm scared of right now. Is this really so? Is this really happening at the moment? And usually the answer is no, it's not happening. I'm just scared of it. So there are different stages. Like there's this, they call it the loop of loss of when we feel different feelings. So, people can look it up if they're interested. So first we feel, I forgot how it goes, but we feel denial, then we feel shock, then we start accepting it gradually. And the idea is that we accept and we think, okay, what can I do about it now? So that's the framework how it goes. But there are many things that are inside, that what it involves actually, what's the process, right? Because we can read the theory and then we can say, all right, what can I do with all this? Because I need to do things in everyday life. I need to live. I still need to take care of other people and myself. And who comes first? And do I sacrifice myself now, or do I put myself first? There's so many things, right? But to just sort of narrow it down, calm it down, the big question is, okay, this is the situation I'm in. What can I control and what I can't control? It's very important to have this understanding. In the zone that I can control, now we go there, what can I do, right? If it's um, anxiety about something that's happening and we can't control it, so let's say I told my teenager not to go there, or he's already in a different city and he has an agenda, he has a trip to do. I can't control what's going on, right? So what I can control, I can be in touch with him. I can occupy myself with something to distract myself, to take my mind off it and do something productive for myself, things like that. How am I answering your question so far?
Okay, so as I understand this, it's can we one more time repeat just these levels of how to manage it? First was that I have to accept that I'm in stress.
Mm-hmm. First, again, it's sort of like my framework. There are many different frameworks,
Yes.
right? First is to realize that what is happening to me, I'm really, really stressed, and assess the level of stress. Like, how am I stressed? Am I totally negative emotions? Am I out of control? Or I keep thinking about this negative thing all the time. Like, I don't want this, I don't want this, or anything. Um, or it's something in the background that's like nagging. I'm doing my things and like it's something that's bothering me. So what is the level of stress? That is the first thing to assess. And then again, the thought that I always tell myself is that I can control it. I have the tools, right? So that's the
Yes. So at
next
first
step.
time I have to understand that, to try to find the reason of
Mm-hmm.
why I'm stressed. If it's only my thoughts, or it's some situation I'm facing right now.
Yes, to be aware, and be present consciously. Okay, I'm stressed.
Now
And
I'm
then
present. Yes.
now I'm present. Now to feel what is this doing to my body? Where is it? Where is it? To me, usually the stomach is clenching,
Yes.
when I'm stressed. So I need to, okay, you just need to sit down and relax, not to rush through it, not to ignore it. By no means, we can't ignore what's happening in the body. We need to pay attention. So basically, the idea is to be present and
Yes.
to know. And when we are in stressful, let's say stressful time or stressful stage in life, then do this check all the time. A very helpful tool is to put an alarm on your phone and check in with yourself every 2 hours, right? So is it me thinking about a person who is in trouble and I can't get to them? Let's say a family member overseas who is in the hospital, we can't do anything about it. Or is it some disturbing news on TV? Or what is it? And we go, it's a roller coaster, right? We go up and down, up and so good idea is to have that alarm on the phone. Every 2 hours, check in. Okay, where am I? How am I feeling? Am I negative again? Or am I productive? Am I doing anything for myself? And it really balances it out over the course of the day when we have this bing every 2 hours, bring us
Yes,
back
that's
to
great.
reality.
Yes, because a lot of time people are just like in all these negative emotions. Oh my God, it's happened. What have the emotion thoughts that about something what's I just couldn't control, as you said.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And when you mentioned that, another thing that came to mind is there's this triangle. I'm a coach and we have many tools and different techniques. And when you said, oh my gosh, and quite often when we're in a situation that we don't want to be, we feel like a victim, right? So that's
Yes.
important to understand too. Like, was this alarm thing? Oh, poor, where am I? Am I poor me, poor me? You know, the world is bad, things are happening to me. And this bing again, you know, bring yourself to reality. It's not poor me. This is what's happening. What do I want to do about it? Right? Sometimes we need to have a pity party, but not every day, not the whole day. You know, we need to give away to feelings. Absolutely. And speaking of that, it's important to understand what is this feeling. You know, like if we group them, there could be many different emotions and shades. What is it? Is this anxiety? Is this fear? Is this grief? Anxiety about something that we don't know what's going to happen? Is this, again, fear that amplifies everything and we think, oh, something really, really bad is going to happen? Or is it grief of something that we can't change and it's happening or it happened? And depending on what it is, there are different ways of dealing with it. For example, with anxiety, the breathing helps. It's 5-5-5. That's what helps me, and I teach my kids. So you count to 5, you breathe it in, you hold it for 5 counts, and then you count to 5 to exhale, right? So because anxiety needs to be contained. But again, it takes practice to understand what's happening to us and what to do with it, basically. You need, like they say, name it to tame it. If you don't know what you're dealing with, you don't know what to do, then with grief and fear, you need to express them. It's really bad to internalize them because then it starts eating us from the inside, right? So with anxiety, it's good to contain with the breathing. With fear and grief, it's good to express them, right? To find a person we can talk to or talk to ourselves, but to express, right? What is it we're grieving? What is it we're fearing? And then maybe we'll see that, oh, it's not that bad. We exaggerated it in our head. But so
Yes, maybe
different
journaling could help if you
journaling,
don't have no one
absolutely
to
many
talk
different
to.
tools, many different tools. Yes.
Yes. So understand what exactly I feel, if it's this fear or anxiety or something.
Hmm.
Okay, so what's next?
What next? Like I mentioned before, I'll go a little bit into that. What I can control and what I can't control. And within that area of what I can control, to see what changes need to be made. For example, if it's about some events that are happening and we can't control them, and people call us and say, "Oh, for example, did you hear the currency, is changing or something," and then limit access to these people, limit access to disturbing news. Well, we want to be informed, but we become compulsive, so we need to check this all the time. So maybe check once a day. We can control how many times we check something or how many times we phone this person if we're worried about them, right? Or how many times we want to phone a friend and tell them how bad it is for us. So we can control that, right? Now, it is good to do something fun, even in times of trouble, because when we raise our vibrations, emotions, we feel better, our immune system works better, so we become stronger. We basically pull ourselves out of this, right? What else? I'm looking at my notes. What else we can control? Stay connected with people who can help us and who are positive. It's very important to identify, okay, this person is not helping me right now, but this person can really help me and I can help them, right? Then I'm looking, what else? Lower our expectations in the times of stress, because when we're already stressed and we have this huge to-do list, and just basically go to the minimum functional level. What do I really need to do today to get by and take care of myself? I mean, when it's a very stressful day, there are different days, right? But lower expectations. In my case, no, if kids are going to eat pasta, they will just eat pasta. It's fine. If I need to do something else, take care of themselves, of them and myself, things like that. Also, in the time of stress, um, I've seen it many times in people's life. Routines can help to get you out of depression, of negative thought pattern. If I know that right now I'm doing this, and in 2 hours I'm doing this, it takes willpower and discipline to do it, but it really helps. When people have a morning for themselves, a good morning routine, a pleasant morning routine, when they do, let's say, restorative yoga or journaling, or watching a funny movie during the day. I mean, not out of the morning routine, like anything. This really, really helps. Um, Also, there's this rule of 5 seconds. You count to five and you start doing something, and you count backwards. You count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get up and go do something. So basically, change. Bring yourself into a different body position, emotional state. Do something. That's the idea. Change what we can.
Yes, it's great. Maybe to look at the situation from another perspective,
Mm-hmm.
find some positive points on all this situation.
Definitely, there is always a silver lining in every situation. I mean, when we're in some deep trouble, it's hard to find silver lining, and people wouldn't want to listen to that. That's understandable. Um, but later on, we will still see the benefits of that situation when we calm down. But there's always a silver lining. For example, when I got sick and had to stay home for 2 weeks, I got a lot of reading done. I mean, it's just a very simple example, but there's always something good that comes with it. And like I said, focus on play, and maybe focus on something. Let's say somebody never had time, and all of a sudden they have all this time on their hands and they don't know what to do. Like, I work with moms, they send kids to school and they expect to be really happy, and all of a sudden they have this time and they go, what do I do now? Right? And I'm saying, you had all those plans. Oh no, I'm so upset, I miss my kids. And I'm saying, well, do something that you want to do, right? And then it goes into, what do I want to do? Always did what I have to do. So, okay, that's good time now to think what you want to do, and bring more fun into life. But the idea behind it is that we can manage it, we can control it.
Yes. So find something we can control and do something about it or with it. Do something.
Hmm.
Is there something else how I can feel better in any situation, or how I can grow my ability to manage this situation, like to train myself to overcome next challenges, even if in times when everything is okay, but is there some habit I can create to be prepared better for next challenge?
Yeah, there's another sort of a concept and idea to do sort of a long-term, not planning, but have a long-term agenda. And that is to constantly, even during every day, to constantly be in check with ourselves and sort of watch where we are in our vibrations. Because if we are, let's say, this is negative, this is neutral, this is positive emotions, like very simply put, if we're above the neutral all the time, we sort of like build a buffer, like emotional bank. So, and that means looking after ourselves, eating well, having some exercise routine. It might sound boring, but in fact, it's true. Find joy in eating well, and looking after yourself. Joy into in exercise, or whatever exercise that is. For somebody it's biking, for somebody it's just walking, running, jogging, any kind of sport, anything. But the idea is that to have this emotional bank, and physical and spiritual as well. And when the times go bad, we dip, but thanks to that emotional bank, we pull ourselves back up. So it's a long-term strategy, really, right? And if we don't do that, if we're already sort of neutral or down, as soon as it hits us, we go deeper. So it's good to keep that in mind and to know that I need to take care of myself and find joy in it, because nobody wants to take care of themselves when it's boring, and not interesting. To find joy in it, and for every person it's different. For somebody it's knowing why do I need to take care of myself, to find that pull. For somebody it's to do it with a partner. There are many different ways, but the idea is to keep depositing into that bank, emotional, spiritual, physical, because we'll have to take from it later.
Yes, so it's about priorities. Prioritize yourself
Yes.
in
Yes.
everyday life. Yes,
Yes.
and maybe be aware constantly about how I feel, and be
Mm-hmm.
aware sooner that, oh my God, something is going on and I have to solve it before I will be really down.
Yeah, that would be ideal. I would like to share with you. I was reading, I think it's Janine Ross, her book, and she was describing how she met Eckhart Tolle, and she interviewed him, and she spent a few days with him, and so I listened to it as an audiobook, so I couldn't, look and see what's next. And I was in the car, and I'm thinking, okay, she was with this spiritual teacher for a few days, so something really, really profound came out of it. And she said, when I was leaving, I asked him for advice, and he said, do two things on regular basis. Two things is stop complaining and check in with your body throughout the day, every few hours. And she thought, that's all? And when I was listening, I thought, that's all? And then she described how profound those things were for her. When she went home after the recording the interview with him, and she went home, and every time she wanted to complain about something or be negative about something, she would stop herself. And her husband was scared. He said, we lived together for 30 years, and all of a sudden I stopped complaining, right? And it really helped her to be more aware and present. Simple thing, but made a huge impact. And the same thing is checking with yourself. Like, what am I feeling? How am I feeling now? Where is it in the body? Am I hungry? Am I happy? Am I upset? So basically, it's constant work, to put it well. Just to be present.
Yes, that's important. Thank you very much. Do you have something what is really important, what you like to share with our audience before we finish our call?
Hmm. A message to leave with. What you said, sort of stroke a chord. You said important. That every single one of us is important, and sometimes it's hard to put ourselves first. We, mm, based on many other things, we put other people first. But it's very important to understand that we have our own value, and we're very valuable, and we're worth taking care of ourselves. We're worth to put time and energy and everything into ourselves. And only when we understand our own value and take care of ourselves, we can behave like that in the world, and then we can help other people.
Yes. Thank you very much, Victoria. Could you please tell some contact on you where people can get in touch with you if someone will be interesting?
Hmm. People, if they can see my name spelled, that's how I am on Facebook, and they can find me there. active there as of late, and they can send me a message. Because I don't have time for blogging, or I concentrate all my efforts on the Facebook and on clients and, like I said, my kids and family, because they're homeschooled now. So thank you
Yes.
so much for having me.
Thank you so much for sharing your tips. Thank you. Bye bye. Thank you
My
all
pleasure.
for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to get more interviews like this. And bye.